stream. Let's see how it does. Retrieving your content. Oh, I got a notification right away. Yay, live stream started. It's your boy. It's a dope boy. Bang, 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 bang. New microphone. Secondary camera. What's up, Joe? How's the new mic sound? Does it sound good? Dang, everybody rolled in. We can't hear shit. How's the mic sound? Is it too loud? Do I need to turn it down? What's up, Mark? Yes, turn it down, or yes, it sounds good. Sounds great. Cool. I picked up a Samsung mic and we mounted it up here on the. You can see my rubber band mount here. We mounted it to the camera here for this microscope. So we also have a second camera over here, so you all can see what I'm doing down here. I can also turn it so if you all want to see my sweet ass removal of screws, you can. But for now, I think the best area is going to be the workspace. I need to get a swivel mount made for it or something. That'd be more useful. What's up, Lynn? How's everybody doing? Everybody got in here quick today. Usually it's slow at first. We've got a 6 Plus that came in today. The description on it said sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I hooked it up to the DC power supply and realized that, yeah, Shady Tree Engineering. I realized that the phone was turning on, but the problem was we weren't getting image. So usually if there hasn't been any water damage to the phone and there's no image, that usually indicates that there's probably going to be long screw damage. I'm going to have to mute it for a second. Hold on. I think, maybe. Yeah.
would y'all happen to have a cable that would run from like the lightning to HDMI?
Don't think we do have a.
They have some across the street at the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he has some over there. I think I saw him last time I was over there.
All together, including tax, it's going to be $122.40.
Do you have the orange handled? Yeah, the X-Acto knife.
Yeah.
It's right over there. I see it. It's right there.
You see it?
Yeah.
We'll cut
Thank you, Bobby.
Oh, no, Bobby.
Oh, Bobby said the.
Oh, Bobby said something.
Somebody. Who was it? Bobby said now that when he gets frustrated, he always says "fucking Micah."
Well, good. I always say fucking Bobby.
He always says "fucking Bobby," so I guess it's even.
Even Stevens.
Even Stevens. You just made him jump. Are all the standoffs soldered to the board? Yeah, most of the standoffs are just soldered. There's some that are made into it, like that one there. That's kind of just a standoff for the shield. It's made to the actual body, but the one up, that one there is separate. Get us a new X-Acto blade. Oh, when I unmuted it. Yeah, sorry. I'm sure the audio quality is probably higher now with the newer microphone, so it'll take a little while to, I guess, to get used to it. I'm going to increase the microscope brightness here. Oh, there we go. I had it turned down. Even better. I gotta adjust this camera's exposure. It's fucking high as shit. I reinstalled my whole operating system, so I'm kind of having to. There we go. Frequency 60 hertz. Apply. Let's turn the brightness down a little bit. Okay, and then let's adjust the brightness over here because this is pretty bright. Configure. Too much contrast there. Can we set the brightness to auto? Is that an option? Auto? No. Guess it's not. It's really fucking bright right there. White balance. White balance is set to auto. What does that do? Alright, so we'll leave that on auto. Backlight. Okay. Fuck it. Let's just decrease the brightness some. That'll have to do. He said that's plug and play Bobby to you, Micah.
Plug and play.
Alright, yeah, he works on stuff. He said he only does stuff that's plug and play.
Oh.
Alright, so as you can see, this layer is delaminated. I can cut through. See how mushy it is? So we know we've got some pretty serious damage in here. The reason I'm digging over here is because there is a chestnut line that runs through here that will enable your LCD. And since we don't have any LCD, there's a good chance that that line is most likely damaged. Jesus effing Christ. Christ on a cracker. Brought to you in part by Micah. ChristOnACracker.com. Alright, so let's see if we can get this first layer off without digging down too far. It's the only thing that ever scares me about these. Once I get that first layer off, I'm comfortable, but this first layer, I'm always worried that it's gonna drag the next layer up with it, and I'm just gonna have a shit show. Alright, so you can actually see some of the traces already on the next layer. If you look right here, you can see these traces right here that are coming over. The line we're concerned with should be up here, so let me switch over so you all can see on the schematic what I'm looking for. Alright, so on the schematic, we'll load that up. Alright, so on the 6 Plus, right here, this is the LCM to Chestnut Power Enable line. So it's going to be towards the top here of the hole. So we're looking for anywhere that those are fractured or broken. But we want to very carefully scrape this off because I don't want to do any damage to the second layer that hasn't already been done. So there's our line that we were looking for.
Yeah. Your husband just came and picked it up. Yeah, it's ready. Yeah. Okay. Not a problem, ma'am. Bye-bye.
So it looks like our line is broken right there. Let's see if I can pick this back without destroying it too much. So yeah, you can see we have a clear separation in that line. If we follow this one over, it should run up right to here. That's our 1v8 SD line. I want to make sure it's okay too, because that's a fairly important line. I imagine that it is, because the phone was turning on as far as I could tell, and it does seem like it's okay. So let's clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna switch it back over. Sorry, you couldn't even see that. So I've scraped back. This is our, right here is our 1v8 line. You can see it's got a separation right here where there's a piece of trace missing, because this whole area was broken up. Most likely that line was cut, but was still somewhat there, but is now pretty much gone. So based off the schematics, this line right here is the other side of that line right there. I'm just going to real gently scrape back some. Make sure that we have all the right places here. Not sure what this line is. It's on the schematic. It may be ground. Let's see. Yeah, it's ground, so that's not important. That line probably runs here to this ground area and runs over and goes to this ground. The area we're concerned with is this piece here that's missing. So let's clean this up a little bit. What's up, Martin? So we'll clean this up. Alright, so we know where we have to make our jumper. We're going to make our jumper from here to there. I don't want to dig at it too much because it's just going to cause issues if I do. I'm going to turn my iron temperature down. If your iron temp is too hot, you'll tear traces off because the copper is so sensitive. It just tends to flake off at higher temperatures. Alright, so we need to tin our tip. What's going on, Joshua? And then I'm going to put some more solder back on here. Alright, so I'm going to try to come in here, and I don't want to create any bridges. I would just want to there we go. Traces are tinned. Now for a piece of wire. I really need to order some 50 gauge wire. It's considerably smaller than this. This is honestly probably big for what I'm using it for, but it's okay. It's slightly bigger than our trace, but that's alright. So I'm going to strip the ends of my wire just a little bit. If I can get it off of my tweezers. It's like, it amazes me how things can stick to other things. You just have to clamp it a little bit and it'll just stick there forever. So let's see if I can. Alright, so that should be tinned enough. Okay, I want to get it into an angle. I don't want to be holding the wire because once I tack it down, any tension on that wire is going to cause a fracture or trace to rip. So I just want to just want to put pressure down on it to hold it where I want it. I don't want to actually be holding it. So there we go. We got it. We're about where we want it. Okay, that should be connected. And I want to put a fairly hard bend in that line because I don't want it touching anything else. So I'm going to take my tweezers. Hopefully, there we go. So now it's bent into shape where I want it to end. And I picked up the wire because it doesn't take any heat at all to lift this thing. That was so beautiful, now it moved on me. Well, let's try it again. Alright, so now we got it where we want it. We'll flip it around, that way maybe I can hold the wire down to keep it from moving as I tack the other side. I'm going to open my tweezers up here. Alright, let's see if we can get in there and trim that without fucking ourselves. Let's see if that put a bend in it. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to test our continuity across those 2 points to make sure that our line is not connected. I guess it would help if I put it on the audible beep. Make sure it's not grounded out. These are ground planes. Our wire's not grounded, so that's good. Alright, so let's clean this up ever so gently and see if we now have image. So I don't want to put any pressure on that. I don't want to slide it across it. I'm just touching it and then removing it and let the cleaner do its job. I want to make sure that that line's not touching. I don't want those interacting with each other. Come in behind that. Okay. Now let's see if we have image now. Because before we had boot but no image. So now we should have image. If you also haven't noticed, in the bottom left hand corner of the stream there is now a readout of what my amp meter or my DC power supply is doing. So you can now kind of monitor the voltage output and the amperage draw. So if you watch the amp draw, there's a normal amp draw it'll go to 80 milliamps, and then it should go, if backlight and image are working, it should go to 200 milliamps and hold there, and then it'll increase as the phone boots. Okay, so it's still not normal. We still don't have image. Let me see if there's image in their backlight. No, still no image. So I'm going to test continuity of this line from the connector and see if we have a disconnect in between there and the line. I highly doubt that line is broken up beyond that point, so I'm fairly confident in the jumper there. Let's just double check and make sure that we have continuity all the way through. It's not grounded. Let's see if we have continuity to the connector. Should be one of these. Yeah, we do. Let's see what the diode reading is here on that pin. I remember which one it was. There it is. So voltage drop to ground looks okay. It's 400 milliamps. So we'll shut our DC power supply back off. Overmodulated? What do you mean overmodulated? What does it sound like?
Sounds like ass.
Does it sound like ass? I feel like all of our connections there are good. Distorted? Like,
Clipping?
is it clipping like too high or what? How about now? Wait a minute, I have an idea. Is this better now? How's it sound now? Hold on, I gotta remove a device. Audio. Quieter but better. Alright, let me turn the volume back up. How's it now? I think I know what the problem was. I think it was trying to pull two audio streams off the same one. Let me hotkeys, clear and clear. Can you get this? Nope, not that. What?
Does touch stop working? Okay, you got touch disease. we can repair it. It's
I don't know.
125.
I'll have to listen to it after I get done. I'll have to test it out somewhere. It sounded okay in the test recordings.
Usually around 3 to 4 hours. Just depends on how backed up we are at the moment whenever we bring it in. Cost?
125.
Oh, what's it caused from? Oh, it's caused because there's a fracture, a microfracture on the motherboard itself.
It's caused from the phone bending.
It's caused from the logic chip that actually controls the touch on the screen.
The phone bends.
Yeah, the phone bends and it causes the fracture on the board. Okay. All right, no problem. Bye.
We're gonna take it to Digital Doc.
We're gonna go to Digital Doc.
And then we'll come over there.
They charged me $60.
Yeah, and then we'll come over there when it doesn't work and we'll ask you if you can fix it for us. And then when you tell us it's been fucked up,
then we're gonna cry like babies.
Then we're gonna be all pissed off.
Why?
I swear, if somebody calls me and then goes over there and then brings me the phone after they fuck it up, I'm just like, sorry, you're out of luck. I can't do anything for you. I tried.
You'll know as soon as you open it. They don't ever put anything over back over where the IC is.
Yeah, it probably is clipping a little bit. Let me see. I'm just going to turn it back a little. See if that's any better, if it clips on that or not. Yeah, the microphone's right here. So
is one of those switches actually a gain boost? Because you might have to.
Yeah, it's a volume controller.
Click it off.
On this?
Yeah.
How about now? What does it sound like? I don't know if it's on now. I think it's muted. Yeah, now it's on. I don't fucking know.
Chris ain't got time to mess with no microphones.
Alright, anyway, I'm going to try to boot this up and see. I'm going to measure our voltage line and see if maybe Chestnut Enable's not getting the voltage it's supposed to. Okay, so the phone's turning on now. So let's measure Chestnut Enable line. Okay, so Chestnut Enable is 0 volts when it should be 1.8 volts. So that's our problem. Now we need to find out if we're having an issue with the Photon Alive line or the AP to LCM Enable line, or what's going on. Less background hiss when I switch the mic, like to this mic, or when I switch something on the mic. Like when I do this, what does that do? I guess it's working. I don't know. Is there a hiss right there or no? So tell me if that's less hiss or more hiss from doing that. Too low now? See, I think that's a gain switch on it. How is it now? Let me know if it's right or not, if it's too low or too high. Less with but lower volume. Is it still low right now? I'm going to pull it up on my phone so I can listen to it. See how my internet likes this. Alright, so I'm going to switch the switch down. And then I'll turn the... So I'm going to switch the switch down. Yeah, it's a lot louder with the switch down. I'll turn the... So test... Yeah, it's a lot louder with the switch down. I'll turn the... So test... Yeah, it's a lot louder with the switch down. Okay. That's probably good enough. You all can live with it. So I need to test on the board up here. Let's pull up the 6 Plus. We know our line's there, but we don't have... it closed out on me. Alright, so we don't have the LCD enable line voltage, so let's go over here and look at the 6 Plus. Alright, so there should be a photon alive. There's photon alive. That's a 1B8 line. As soon as the phone is turned on, that line is present. This should be AP. Okay, so there's a B sync line. There's the AP to LCM reset con low. And that's the output to power enable. Those are data lines. Let's see what's over here. LCD to AP. Not connected. Alright, so the photon alive line is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th line over from the right. So I'm going to turn this on, and then we should have that voltage as soon as we turn on the phone. Even without the LCD present, that voltage should be there. Alright, so it's turning on. Let's see what this voltage is. So coming over here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is 1.8 volts. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since we're not getting a voltage back out, it tells me that we're not getting a signal of some sort. So I'm going to jump the... I've done this before and it worked. I'm going to jump the photon alive line over to the LCM enable line, which should turn our LCD panel on. So 3... Goddamn. Batteries are attacking me. Okay, cool. I'm glad that sounds better. This will be a little bit of fine tuning as we go, so I'm getting a piece of wire so I can jumper these two together. So we want to solder the 3rd, 6th, 8th pin. Why you no stay? Okay, so let's count that again. Just make sure 3, 6, 8, and then we want that to go over to which pin? The 11th pin. So 3 pins down from that one. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna push this wire in. Okay. I want to make sure that we're not connecting all those lines together, so I'm going to test this. In continuity mode. Okay, so we should be connected here to here, but nobody else. Not to ground. Okay, so we're good. Now let's rehook up our LCD. We'll hook up our power line, and then let's watch the amperage now. So if the LCD turns on and we have backlight, we should see a 200 milliamp draw right after it starts to boot. If I can get this connected and keep it connected. So watching it. Nope, still not doing it. So still no image. Let's see what our, let's see if our LCM enable is now, or to Chestnut is now powered. Okay, so I'm not getting power over there. So let's pull this and recheck this real quick, because it should have power. Let me recheck my lines here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Alright, that should be right. Let's see here. I'll meter from here over to here. Okay, we have power. Our lines are at least connected. Why did we not get any image? Why was our power rail gone? It's very confusing. So let's try that again. Maybe there's a fluke. Fluke you.
Fluke you.
No, it's still acting weird. Let's check our voltage again. Yeah, it's still 0. Okay, so still 0, so we might have a I don't think there's any shorts on that line, but let's see with the LCD connected if we're getting like a short or something. Because I've done this before, and it'll bypass the enable from the CPU. So with this connected, no, there's no short. But our chip is taking that power and doing something with it. Let me recheck ZXW for the long screw and see if there is something else I might have missed. Okay, what else is in this group? Sage line, that's touch. AP to I2COSL. Okay, so that's a data line. Let's check and make sure that data line is there and okay. It should be. It's down here in the back. might be broken too. Let's see. Yeah, that connection goes over. So that piece of the line is missing also. So I'm going to probably have to pull the CPU shield here. I gotta be able to get up here. Yeah, I can see the end of the line there. I'm going to have to pull the CPU shield. I gotta reconnect that. That line, I believe, is what goes to the display that tells the LCD what to do. It talks to a few of the different lines. It's a day line, I2² line, so that's important for sure. And that probably came up with a piece of the first layer that was bubbled up. That's why I really worry about removing those layers. So shield's off. Time to go back to work here. Hopefully we can get this off without absolutely fucking ourselves here. So this looks to be the line that we're looking for here, I think. Yeah, that sure looks like what we're looking for. So we've got to make a jumper from this little nub that's sticking out over to this via. Let's clean that up. This one's gonna be fun. So there's a small nub of a line there that we're gonna have to connect a wire to back over to our via, and hopefully then we'll have image again. Yep, that's it. I can see where it runs back into the board when I put liquid on it. I can see through the fiberglass. So I'm going to scrape that via just a little bit here. And then that line. Alright, so put down some flux. This one's going to be tricky. See if I just melted a connector over here. Well, luckily I didn't. Alright, so those two are tinned. Get some wire here. Saw a little piece of it over here already. It's already pre-tinned on one side. How about that? So we need to tin that a little more. See how that looks. That might cut it. Alright, so I do not want this line shorted out on the ground near it. So this is going to be fun. I could turn it around probably to get a better hold on that line while I place it. Didn't want to put a bend in it. I want it to kind of lay where it's pretty flush on its own by the board. Alright, that looks like it's connected. Yep. Alright, so I need to put a bend in it here so that we're not going to touch our ground layer. Alright. Now let's see if we can tack this end down without removing the other end. Probably going to flip it back the other way. Okay. Now I just want to hold this wire down. Okay, so that's not connected. Make sure it's not touching right here. Cut that excess off. Alright, let's clean it up and look at it here. Okay. I really don't want that ground to touch it. Just gonna chip that ground plane away a little bit. Oh, almost fucked myself. Alright, so there we go. Now we got that ground plane broken off. Making myself go cross-eyed here, trying to focus in on it to make sure it looks good. Alright, so our jumper is placed. Hopefully I didn't break my wire while I was fucking around there. Okay, so that should have continuity, so let's check it. Not grounded. That's ground. So our wire's not grounded, so let's test it now. Let's see if we have image. Go away, wire. Nope, still no image. So let's test our enable line here again. Yeah, we still don't have any voltage on that line. This one is weird. So let's look at this is chestnut right here. It's a backlight driver right there and right there, I believe. I believe this is chestnut or this one is. Let me look and see. This one should be chestnut. Let's find out. Yeah, so chestnut is... Chestnut's this one. Let's see if I can see anything under it. I mean, it looks okay. We've reconnected the lines that were broken there. This line is good. Let's see if I can scrape out that. Iron, get rid of that ground plane. That line looks okay on the output. Why is it dragging it down to... Maybe reflow that joint just to make sure maybe that's having some issues. I'm not sure why it's dragging the line down. It doesn't make any sense as to why it would do that. There shouldn't be any reason it's dragging the line down. Let me retest and make sure these aren't grounded out to each other. Yeah, the fun stuff. It's an understatement.
Chris loves fun stuff.
Who loves fun stuff?
Chris loves fun stuff.
I love fun stuff. Alright, so let's see. Make sure I'm not reading this thing correctly. So 1V8 chestnut, that's right. That has something else to do with. It's not related. Let me switch schematics and see here. Jinx? No. Not jinxed. I'm not sure what's dragging the line low. It almost seems like somehow chestnut is pulling the line down. I mean, maybe chestnut is bad because something got shorted. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out though, or at least try to. Fuck me. I switched schematics. I didn't want to. $90-minute cap? No, it's not gonna be a capacitor this time. Haters gonna hate. Ain't gonna ain't.
This one's ready to be sealed up.
So that was our data line right there that was fucked up. Alright, so LCM chestnut. Make sure where it goes.
BNC, let me help you.
That's the 11th line. Let me turn this on and see if the AP to LCM is present.
What's wrong with it exactly? Is there any files that need to be off the computer? Is there any files that need to be saved on the computer? Because it sounds like it's Windows, isn't it? It is Windows. It sounds like the operating system itself's corrupt. It's probably having update what's going on and failed, and that's what it sounds like. So it'll probably have to be reformatted. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I can back. I should be able to back it up before I do it. Like it won't save any of the software or anything like that. But all the documents, you have to reinstall that yourself. Unless you got your documents.
So we need a 1v8 line.
But yeah, all your programs and stuff like that won't be on there. But I can save all your documents and pictures and
PP 1v8. Where can we steal this from? So there's a 1v8 LCM line up there. We should have 1v8 up here on this connector. On pin 1.
yeah.
And we do. I'm gonna pull the jumper off.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason, it may be pulling the line low.
I'd say probably this. It might be if you brought it in today. It might be tomorrow before it would be complete. Because I might have to, if it's an all-in-one, I'd have to open it up and get to the hard drive. Yeah, if you don't feel comfortable installing yourself. Like, why do you need to install it?
Let's retest this.
I can install that back on for you, the Microsoft Office. Yeah. Download off the internet. Yeah, that's probably what you'd have to do. You'll have to sign into your account properly and get your download back, and just download it back, install it.
Yeah, without the jumper, it's 1.8 volts. With the jumper, it's pulling it down to 1.2 volts. And then with the LCD present, it's pulling it even lower.
Username or email or whatever and sign in, then you should have
From what I understood, the Photon Alive or the AP to LCM enable were usually the lines. Usually the line that makes LCD turn on. I'm going to try jumping the 1.8 volt line,
from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
which should be over here.
Do you know where 440 is? 440 on Mickey's.
Alright, so let's check and see which one of these.
What about the Capitol? We're on that side.
Okay, so that filter right there.
Well, yeah, we're a little, up from it. Straight across from. We're in the. I'm not too sure where the jewelry store is.
Jewelry store's opposite end. Talking about Morris Jewelers?
Morris Jewelers? Is that who you're talking about? If so, then
They're down by Capitol.
No, we're directly on the square. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're right on the square. Like, do you know where the Princess Building is? That's where we're located. We're in the Princess Building.
Alright, so let's connect our line.
Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, we can do that. No problem, ma'am. Bye.
Alright, so I'm gonna run my wire around Micah's mother.
This is Chris's mom. First time I've ever had crabs.
Did you say it's not the first time?
First time.
I think you said it's not the first
I
time.
said this is where I got with Chris's mom. First time I got crabs.
11.
See, Chris's mom is still there.
Alright, so let's see if we have LCD now. Alright, so this should supply 1.8 volts directly from the 1.8 line. If it pulls this line down, then we know we have an issue on chestnut, most likely. Voltage was a little higher, but it still doesn't seem right. Let's see what we got here. It's up to 1.8 volts now. But I don't have any image. Yeah, it's at 1.8 now. So that should tell chestnut to turn the LCD on. But we still have no image. So now we need to check our 5.7 volt line to see if our LCD is getting power. Okay, so disconnected. Our 5.7 line is right here. So let's reconnect. Let's see if we have 5.7 volts. We do have 5.7. Okay. We still have no image. Just answer.
Oh. This isn't Chris.
Micah.
This is Micah. Micah. Working. Yeah, he's pretty busy at the moment. Somebody I can help you with? iPhone 6 plus screen. I think we're pretty low on both of them.
Nope.
Okay. Alright, no problem. Bye.
Do 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 do. All right. Alright, so seems like we got a couple more traces here on the outside edge that are fucked up. I'm trying to figure out where they go. Looks like that one there goes to here. So we got a trace that comes up right here and goes to here. I'm gonna try to pick this ground plane back some so it's not very close to our trace. Alright, so that should hopefully be good enough. Let's get that piece of trace out of the way, it's fucked anyway. I just want that. This is ground coming through here also. We can test that. So that's ground. That's not ground. This is ground. So you can kind of, anywhere that there's ground, you can go through and kind of clean it out so it's not in your way. Oh, shit, I'm gonna end up fucking that trace if I'm not careful. Alright, so that ground's out of the way. Let's see if I can not lose my trace here. Okay, there we go. That's what happens when you keep dicking around with it, you end up fucking it over. So we need to make 2 jumpers over here. And I wonder it was up too high. Alright. I was wondering why it lifted my trace earlier, and that's because my temperature was set back up to 700. So pick that back just a little. Let's grab some more wire. So it's tenor wire here. What?
It's like that. You're trying to hide it.
Yep. Put some solder on here. So I can tin this into this wire. Just being an absolute pain in the dick. Well, there we go. Top layer is grabbing the solder. See if I can flip it back a little bit. You can see how far back it's delaminated. Alright, let's see if we can attach our wire now. Finally got it attached there. That took forever. Alright, so I want to be really gentle with this. That trace doesn't have much to it. Alright, so just come in here and tack down the other side. Okay. That's now connected. Alright, now let's connect these two traces together. This one should be fairly easy since they're bigger traces here. Okay, that's connected. clean this up and see what else we got. And then we'll see if it'll boot up again. My eyepieces are so fogged up I can't even see through them. Alright, now I can see. See if these are ground. Yeah, it's ground, so I'm not worried about that. Alright, let's see if we made any difference this time. I was hoping my new connectors were going to come in today, but they didn't. Nope, still not right. It's better, but it's still not correct. Alright, so I'm gonna pull this line off that we ran around, and I'm really confused because Chestnut's making 5B7, but I'm not getting backlight, and I'm not getting display. I'm gonna pull this and do a diode reading of the FPC and see what we have. Okay, so let's look up our diode readings. Put this on the other screen real quick. Alright, so those are our diode readings for the connector. So we're going to go down that aisle and we're going to check and see if these match. If they don't match or they're way off, we'll know we have an issue. Really, you don't have to look at the readings. You can kind of tell based off of the number if there's something weird about it. Alright, so the diode readings look okay. I believe I think it was, let me see, line 10, which I think is the B-Sync line, was reading a little higher than normal, but that could be okay. Let me see what line that was. No, it was actually the LCM reset line was reading pretty high. I'm not sure why. That could be why there's no voltage there, because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be 1.8 volts. Got a little shit in there. So it makes me wonder if that line's not fucked up somehow. It's got a filter right here, so I'm gonna check that. We need to heat our FPC area just a little bit so that underfill will come off easy. So you just want to heat it up just a little. Alright, so that's plenty. It's just enough to get the underfill off. Alright, so 3, 6, 8, 10. So the filter is good. I believe it has a resistor right under it. Maybe a capacitor, let me see. That's a resistor. It's tied to ground though. That comes from under CPU, so that's what I was wondering, if this line over here maybe was something to do with it. So let's see. Doesn't seem like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's the B sync line. So the B sync line would cause no touch, so it's good that we fixed that. But does it help us with the current situation? It almost makes me wonder if maybe somehow that line got fucked. Oh, this drives me nuts. Still counting. Still counting what? Doing long screw damage is a whole different ballgame than finding shorts on a cap. That's for damn sure. This one's a head scratcher. Checking my voltage lines again just to make sure that nothing's come back. So I'm fairly confident this is a data line issue. I think it's the AP to LCM reset. I don't know that I'm going to be able to make it work. Because when I jumped one V8 over to the chestnut enable, that should make the screen turn on. I was getting my 5B7 voltage line, which is correct. That line has to come through here somewhere because it's right on this side of the... It's on this side where the damage is. I was almost wondering if maybe this ground layer in the center, that there's some kind of damage under it. Into the third layer. So let's go on down a layer and see what's below. Scrape this ground plane out. I'm gonna do it that way. I end up hitting that wire, I know it. Fucking mica drop testing shit again. I'm telling you guys, mica drop tests everything around here. If it won't hold up to mica, it ain't gonna hold up to real life. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take the rest of this ground plane out. Alright, so the ground plane's out of the way. Let's make our way down to the next layer. Alright, so if you're wondering about this one, there's only one line up here and it doesn't have anything to do with LCD, so okay, let's clean that up. See what's in there. Some of this is new territory for me too, so put a little flux down and melt that out so we can see what our traces look like under there. Alright, so we've got our V, it comes down to this layer and then runs out that way. We got a, looks like a ground plane here, possibly. Got a line running through here, line running through here, here. from the looks of it, they all look like they are connected. Runs up under this and out. Maybe a chance of a break up there. I'm going to see if we can find any of these lines on the top side here. I'm looking mostly for stuff that's tied to LCD, so there's one of our data lines. We're looking for this line. Does not seem like it is in there. Alright, so none of those lines have to do with it, so I can't go any lower than that. Because if I do, I would have to cut traces that are permanent or already good, so I really don't want to do that. So I'm almost to the point of saying that I give on this one. The other side, there's no long screw there. You can see that the area is nice and firm. It's not bubbled up like this was. Let's see what this is. I think this is ground. Tack that back down. Alright. That's tacked back in place. See if we can. See if this is ground. I think it is. That's all ground. It goes down to another layer. Alright, well, I guess we're going to call that one as a loss. Because I'm not sure what's not allowing the image. I'm really leaning towards, since my my AP to LCM enable line is supposed to be 1.8 volts and then it's supposed to go low. It is reading OL when it should be about, I think it's like 400 or milliamp volt drop to ground. So I think I'm gonna call it on that one. This is just a prime example of why long screw damage is a nightmare. It causes so many issues. That line could, like one of these lines in here, could easily ground it out, and some of these lines are extremely sensitive. If I send it to Jessa, it's going to get sent to Mark, and I may send a picture to Mark and see what he thinks. Yeah, Aaron, I don't blame you. The old school single layer or dual layer boards are 100 times easier. But I actually may send a picture to Mark and ask him if he's got any ideas as to why it's not working. But thanks for watching me struggle through that one. I think we tested out the microphone to see how it worked. It seems like it's doing pretty well. The camera over here now gives you all a view of what I'm doing here, even though it's kind of washed out. If you all think this view here is not important, I may just switch that one, since it's a 1080p camera, over to the main camera. Just let me know what you think. Leave a comment or anything, that way I know what your all's thoughts are. And again, please make sure you pay attention to the screws that you're putting back into place. You just cause more nightmares. So like I said, if you all like this camera being here to see what I'm doing, let me know. Leave a comment or something in the actual comments so I can see them in chat. If I don't see them, it's not saved. So if you watch this later and it is beneficial to see the view over here, that's great. This camera, zoom it in. It's zoomed in some. Let me see how much it'll zoom. I don't know how much more it'll zoom in. Well, it'll zoom in quite a bit, actually. It stops right around there. It won't let me go any closer than that. So that's as close as I can get it. So this is as close as I can get it without actually moving the camera in closer, but I don't really have anywhere to put it at that point. So this is up and out of the way. But I may try attaching it up here and angle it down. I don't know if it'll even...
Get a little snap.
It might do that. I'm not sure. Whatever. I don't know. I really wanted to put this camera like here. I don't know what the... And then let me see what it looks like with the zoomed all the way out. I wanted it to have it close. So would that view be better? I'll have to make a mount or something for the camera. Joe, as far as the power pin on the iPhone 6 to turn it on. Alright, so I'll figure out a way to mount it here. That's on the bottom of my scope, so I may have to get some adhesive tape and kind of figure out a way to mount that. Maybe I can mount it upside down. No, it won't work. I can flip the image, but the mount I don't think will work there. Actually, yeah. I can mount it just like that with some tape. The only thing I worry about is being in the way. But we can mount it like that, and then I can flip the image. Let me see here. Let me flip that image over. Like that. That's with my hands on it. So if I'm in here working and stuff, this is what you would see. Is that okay? Like that's grabbing a component. And I can adjust the brightness and stuff. The gain's all the way down. White balance is all the way up. Okay, I'll probably mount it like that. I'll have to figure out a way to, since the microscope lighting is right there, the camera's auto adjusting itself. I'll try to get the brightness down, and then we'll keep messing with it from there. Well, let me set an auto to, let's do default and just decrease our brightness. I'm just dicking with all this shit right now. Looks pretty good. That might work right there. Auto exposure sucks. Just oversaturates it. Okay, we'll roll with that. See how that does. Looks pretty good. It might be a little dark, but we can adjust the brightness from there. Hey Paul, I'm about to get off stream, man. But I like that there. It's a perfect space. We can. It moves with the camera, so we'll get some focal differences, but I can adjust it up and out some too. So. So there we go. That looks pretty good. And if we don't like it, we can always move it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to go back and review the footage to see how the audio sounds. I'll skip past the point where it was kind of fucked up. But thanks for watching, guys. Sorry it was not a success, but not every single one of these is. And we'll see you next time. Later.